Crows. Gentlemen, good evening.
Thank you.
Good to see you. It's actually, it's great to have you on this because you, in particular, your band is well known for an interest in the internet. You've certainly paid a lot of attention to the Counting Crows website, which has won awards, and I know you're online and have answered fan mail. Have you done the same, Ben?
I've done it a couple of times when the site was first opened.
What is your impression, guys, of the internet as we address actual internet fans right now?
You know, it's not the instant access thing that you see in movies, but it's fun. You know, it's fun. I just like talking to the fans on the AOL line.
And it's better than having them over to the house, really. You look at it that way.
We have them over to our house every night. They all come to shows. I mean, I know a bunch of the kids from the very first AOL folder that we still sort of see. I saw a bunch of them last night.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any kind of regular input in the Counting Crows website that has won awards?
Charlie helped out in the design. Not other than that, no.
Right. This summer tour that you've been on, you played 1 million dates, it seems like. And are we getting near the end? Are you starting to look forward to some time off?
Oh, yeah, a couple weeks maybe off. Not a lot of time off. Yeah.
There's about a week left of the tour.
And then we have a couple weeks off. But then we're touring mostly till the end of the year.
Have you been all over just America this time, or around the world?
Well, Europe again.
Europe.
We've been to Europe. I've been to Europe twice. Dan and I went over early to just do press. The rest of the band have been over once, and we're going over again before Christmas for a month.
It is. It's astounding. I mean, the world gets smaller and smaller every year, it seems like, and you can walk down the street and be as widely recognized in South Africa as you can in London, England, which must be kind of bizarre. Something you really would be hard to get used to, I would imagine.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know if it's as. I've never been to South Africa, so I don't know. But I mean, like London, for instance, is nothing compared to Chicago. You know, I mean, I'm totally fine walking. I mean, I can walk around the streets anywhere nowadays, but like London, we're far less recognizable over there. We're not very big in England.
Well, we are going to take as many email questions from your Counting Crows fans out there as we have time for tonight. And by the way, you can write in live in the liveconcerts.com chat room if you'd like to post a question for Ben Mize, the drummer, or Adam Duritz, the lead vocalist and piano player for Counting Crows. And they are coming in from all over the world, including South Africa. And I want to start with, from one of your internet fans, the most asked question from Counting Crows. And I don't know if this will surprise you or if you hear it everywhere you go, but the song August and Everything After seems to be some sort of holy grail for your fans. They're obsessed with it, they love it.
And they can't find it.
What are you going to do with it?
Well, we were going to stick it on the end of this record. I think the funny thing about that song is that most unreleased songs, fans seem to find a way of getting a hold of them, and that's one where I know they can't because I find it hard to find one myself. But I know where it is. My father had the only copy of it in his house. We were going to stick it on the end of the record this time, but it's a long song, 9 or 10 minutes, and there just wasn't room. This is a long record, so there wasn't.
You'd have to sacrifice some other babies to put it on, huh?
Well, we wanted to have a bunch of space and just hide it on the end, you know, just so if you were listening to the record, you accidentally left it on, it would show up, but we didn't do it. There was no space for it.
Would you consider you guys an awfully prolific band? I mean, I know you have 5 or 6 songs that the fans all know that you haven't recorded yet, but do you have tons more that we don't know about?
Only early stuff. I'm really not a prolific writer, which is okay. I tend to we don't write like a ton of songs and then sift through them for the record. We tend to write an album, and that's about it.
Can you write on the road, or is it a separate process where you have to get through with touring and now, hey, I'll sit down and after a little vacation and start thinking about another record?
I don't write much on the road. I don't have a piano. It's just physically kind of impossible. There's nowhere to play. You know, there's none in my hotel room, and it's real hard to there's no time at the gigs because we sound check, the Wallflower sound check, Gigolo Ants sound check, and then the crowd's there. So there's nowhere to play really. So I don't tend to do it.
It took a real long time between the first and the second record. Was that an adjustment to, wow, we've had some success now, and now I really need the time off, or I've really got to live some new experiences to have something else to write about, or what?
Well, I think that's been sort of overplayed. Honestly, there wasn't that much time between albums. We just toured for almost 2 years. So there's 3 years between the records. We were on the road for 1.5, 1 3/4, on a long time. So after that, it takes time to make them and then write them, make them, record them.
I guess it's if you're a fan and you're in Milwaukee, the Counting Crows haven't come to town in so long and they haven't had a new record out, so you figure, what can they be doing? Why aren't they working for me? And in reality, you're off doing it in Germany or whatever.
Yeah, we just traveled. We went around America 4 or 5 times on that first album, and we went to Europe twice. I mean, it was there was a lot of traveling there. So I mean, the actual time off was only a few months. You know.
You mentioned the Wallflowers. They're on the bill tonight, along with Gigolo Ants, which are both terrific bands. Do you personally select who it is you'd like to have out on the road with you? Or do they pitch themselves to you, or how does that work?
We pick all our opening bands, just from bands we like. It's easier that way. That way we get to enjoy the show ourselves too.
Did you guys enjoy it when you were opening acts? Is that a tough gig?
I like. Did you ever do it with us? You never
I didn't
did
do it
us.
with you guys, no.
We weren't opening by the time Ben joined the band, but I loved it. I mean, that's the only reason Ben's in our band is because we opened for Cracker. And when I was calling around asking for people to recommend drummers to audition, David Lowery said, you know, you should talk to this guy, Ben Mize. He's fantastic. You know, and he had told Ben a long time before that, you should learn the Counting Crow songs. You'd be great for that band.
Isn't that something?
So Ben showed up mystically knowing all the songs.
And you thought, this is the best audition I have ever seen in my life.
We did. I mean, we were kind of floored by it. It's like, wow, you can play everything on this album.
Is this right, Adam? The current single is Have You Seen Me Lately? Is that the record that you're currently kind of emphasizing right now, as they say in the
Tracy's
business?
nodding. Yeah, yes,
That's the one?
It is a single.
That seems like a song that a lot of fans would understand where you're coming from, because you have been outspoken in interviews about, you know, the press, for instance, and a song that especially seems appropriate for where we are right now, just 2 weeks after Princess Diana and the run-in with the paparazzi and everything. Did that affect you at all on a personal level, having had experiences with the paparazzi in the past yourself?
No, I don't know her.
Or do you think no more so than the average, you know, TV watcher?
My friend's dad's sick right now. That's like way more important to me than her. I mean, not that she's not probably a perfectly nice person. The thing I don't understand about that is that, like, people don't know her. I mean, at least with us, it's like I can sort of understand the obsession because, like, they have the records. They know something about us personally. People don't know her at all. They just hounded her. And I don't know her, so it doesn't affect me emotionally. Then I feel bad for her. I think her life was probably pretty, like, crappy before that because she just got hounded to death. And, you know, I don't know. You know, she wasn't a friend of mine. I don't know anything about her other than, like, poor girl chased around by tabloid people. You know.
Well, a lot of celebrities from all different kinds of work took the opportunity with the news to step forward. Tom Cruise called into CNN. You know, John Travolta would go on a show and they would say something has to be done with the invasion of privacy into celebrities' lives. You know, they looked at it as a real opportunity to focus on the problem, the downside of being famous, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're very well-meaning. I mean, I know they're very well-meaning about that, and their intentions are really in the right place, but there's just no chance. I mean, that only happens because people want to buy them, because people go to the supermarket and they spend their money on it, because people are obsessed with being peeping toms, you know. If you're going to buy trash, then trash will sell, and people will pay much more money for trash. That's just how that works. I mean, you're not going to do anything about that. Plus, it's the First Amendment. You can't. I mean, look, I don't think that's what the First Amendment was intended to protect, but you can't pull that out without pulling Bob Woodward and, you know, Carl Bernstein out too. You know what I mean? What are you going to do?
Everyone's line is different, and if you draw it here, then what about everyone else?
I mean, like I said, that's part of the problem with having a Constitution and a Bill of Rights, is that you have basic rights for everyone, and they apply to things that they weren't supposed to apply to, and most of the litigation is based on protecting people who are probably scumbags. You know, the ACLU is there to protect Jewish people like me, and quite honestly, they're there to protect the Nazis marching in Skokie, because that's the right to, you know, assemble.
Was getting back to the song though, "Have You Seen Me Lately"? Was that some sort of a reaction to the media, or just to being
Just
famous?
the media, just my own experiences,
Your own
with where my
experience.
life was going. I mean, certainly part of it, you know, but it's also just like, it wasn't really so much about everybody else as how I was feeling about me.
What is your favorite song that you have written, or that you guys have recorded?
I don't really have real favorites, just because they're all like real personal. They're all about me, and we play them all every night. I really like them all. They don't, maybe because they're all about me, they seem very, they're just like chapters in a book to me. I don't necessarily have a favorite chapter. The ones that tend to stick in my mind, my favorites are the ones we don't play very often. So,
I know this summer there was a buzz on the fans about rain in Baltimore. I guess everybody was, oh, are they going to do the song, you know, this time?
Oh,
It's
we
one
played
of
it
our
a bunch.
favorites. And I guess this summer you broke it out this year, kind of, right?
yeah, we hadn't played it in a while. I just wasn't, but we started doing it and it got a great response. Because of that, my favorites are probably the song "Chelsea" and "Good Luck," just because we never played them. We didn't put them on the record.
Are you surprised sometimes when you run into fans who have interpreted your words? They mean a lot to the fan, but it's totally different meaning than what you intended when you wrote it. And does it matter to you whether their interpretation is different from what you meant?
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it doesn't make it mean that. You know, I mean, to me, they mean what I meant them to mean. But that's okay. You know, I can't really go around policing that. I mean, what am I gonna,
Well, some people they get frustrated because their intent didn't come across, and some people think once I let it go, it's yours to interpret however you want.
Well, there's been times that's been frustrating. It's not so much people as like the press doing that really bothers me at times, because they'll say it like it's gospel. You know, I didn't like that very much. I had a song on the last album about a girl in an abusive relationship and trying to get her to get out of it, and I had a guy write a story about how it was about me being in bed with the girl trying to talk her into leaving her boyfriend. You know, it's like, well, it's not about that. You know.
If you're just joining in, by the way, we are on liveconcerts.com. We have members of the Counting Crows here, and the concert will follow tonight on this same website, the Counting Crows in concert from the Devore Blockbuster Pavilion. We're talking with the guys about their music and about the rest of 1997, which I understand is also going to include VH1 Storytellers. Now, that has already been recorded?
Yeah, we did it about when did we do it?
A month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago.
About a month ago.
We're just editing it and fixing it up right now. It'll be ready in a few weeks, I think.
That's a great idea for a show, isn't it?
I think it's a really cool idea. Yeah, the guy that came up with it, you know, he was one of my favorite writers before that. This guy, Bill Flanagan, used to be the editor of Musician Magazine, and he was one of the really good music writers. And now he does, you know, programming for VH1. He was the guy. It was his idea to buy up all those old talk shows, I think, too. And they have the Dick Cavett stuff.
That's right, where you see those bizarre performances of people like John Lennon come out.
That's great. Yeah.
It's amazing, yeah. I mean, thank God in the last few years they have started to appreciate and archive that stuff, because for the longest time TV was considered disposable. I mean, there are virtually no tapes of the first 10 years of The Tonight Show, for instance. You know, Johnny Carson doesn't have it because they didn't care back then, but now people realize that some of this stuff is worth hanging on to. Let me take a couple more emails that are coming in, and again, you can write to us in the chat room on liveconcerts.com right now if you have a question for Counting Crows. How do you come up with the lyrics that you ad-lib live? Are they already written as part of the song, or do you go back to the song at a later time to add to the story, or what is the process there?
Oh, it's probably both. I mean, there are some nights where it just comes off the top of my head, and there are some nights where it came off the top of my head last week, and so I like it. You know, I run it through again.
Does a song ever turn into something completely different after you've performed it live for a long time, where it
oh yeah, they all
barely
do.
resembles the way you intended it?
Barely. Well, I mean,
like you've done.
Mr. Jones, we play completely different nowadays.
That was my example.
It's really different. But a lot of them are, because we worked all those songs up for Storytellers too. They're all those songs that we reworked acoustically. You know, we have versions of virtually all of it that way. I mean, so we can do any number of ones. If we don't play Catapult in the electric set, we usually play it in the acoustic set with banjos and, you know, piano, and it's really cool. We did it for Storytellers that way. We have a version of Angels of the Silences that is blastingly electric, and we have one that's accordions and acoustic guitars. Have You Seen Me Lately too? There's a trio version of that with just me and Charlie on piano and David on acoustic guitar. It's really great.
I applaud any band that has the guts to put an accordion in the group at all, to tell you the truth. I mean, the accordion is one of the most maligned instruments in rock and roll, but obviously some bands like Los Lobos and your group figure out a way to use it and make it beautiful.
It's kind of a cool alternative keyboard. Well, we started using it because Omaha had been a really electric song when we reworked it to make the album of August and everything after. We used the accordion and the mandolins. We were just trying to shake it up somehow and do something different. And we liked it so much that Charlie kept the accordion out, and then we figured out other ways to use it.
Have you, forgive me if this question sounds ignorant, but have you recorded songs with other artists where you have sung on their records, they have sung on your records? Have you done much of that?
Only a few. All people sung on our records. The first record, the Jayhawks and Maria McKee did a lot of the background vocals.
Would you ever be interested in a duet, for instance? Is that something that you could?
Well, I did one with Jake. I mean, Sixth Avenue's kind of a duet.
That's right.
Well, he sings all the verses leads. But I did that. I did a duet with Nancy Griffith a few years ago.
Oh, wow, she's
song that I wrote half of it called Going Back to Georgia. And I did some stuff on the new Dog's Eye View album. Peter Stewart, he used to be our guitar tech, and he's a really good friend of mine.
And that's a good little band, too.
Yeah.
Did they open for you some dates this year,
Yeah,
too?
a lot. They opened it at the Wiltern. And they're going out with us on a tour of some colleges starting in a few weeks now. But I did 2 songs on that album, Last Letter Home and the first, which is the new single, I think, and the first single, which was Homecoming Parade.
Great. You mentioned some college towns. I have read interviews with you in the past where you talk about the difference in a vibe playing a city like Chicago versus playing Madison, Wisconsin, for instance. You seem to get something out of working a college crowd.
Well, I grew up in a college town, you know, and so it's kind of my favorite kind of place. I mean, I grew up in Berkeley, so Madison or Athens, where we met Ben. You know, we met Ben because we were playing a gig opening for Cracker, and Ben was the monitor guy at the 40 Watt Club.
which is the most legendary of all small clubs in the world, probably.
Yeah, it's one. It was on my list. I just got the last club out of my list of places to play.
It's so funny when you hear about these places your whole life, and then at least it is for me as not a musician, but you'll go to a place finally, like CBGB's or someplace like that you've heard about, and it's just a dump. Or even a place like McCabe's Guitar Shop in Los Angeles that has been so legendary for so long, and then you go, that's it? That's all there is to it? But there's something about a vibe of a room, and I guess you feel it from the people who have been there before, and it turns into a special night for you.
Well, the 40 watt's really cool, but it's not the original 40 watt, right? There was another one before
There's
that.
two or three before that.
Yeah, they moved it around.
It's in its largest location now, but it's great.
Yeah.
The thing about college towns for me is feeling like I really enjoy being in them, but I can't live in one now. So any chance we have to go and be in one for a couple of days.
Do you live in Los Angeles now?
I just moved out. Yeah, I've just moved out here.
And Adam, you've been in LA now for a few years, right?
Yeah, a couple of years. We both live in Hollywood.
Yeah. How do you like it compared to the Bay Area? There's such a famous rivalry. I've lived in both and still prefer San Francisco.
Well, growing up in the Bay Area, man, you just hate LA.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
I love it up there for a lot of reasons. That's the best food in the world in the Bay Area. I've been all over the world now, and I have yet to find a place that has better restaurants than the Bay Area. But it's beautiful up there. The Bay is great. There's so much to do.
It's so scenic. You feel like you're on vacation all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that way. But on the other hand, LA stays open real late. I really dig that, and it's like for me, I can be treated like a perfectly normal guy in LA, which is cool.
Right.
And it's a different life. I have a lot of friends in LA now. Over the years when we were making the records and when I was spending a lot of time down here, I got a lot of friends up here, and my best friends from up home I'm still real close to.
Right.
My parents are up
it's
there.
not so far that you can't visit often.
No, it's easy. It's harder when we're on the road, but I like LA now. I don't know. It's where my friends are. It's where my life is.
You brought up, you gave me an idea for a question I wanted to ask Ben, and this is actually also an email question. You are so recognizable because of your look and because you're the prominent focus of a video, for instance, or a concert. The rest of the guys kind of have the luxury of being somewhat anonymous wherever they go. Is there a reverse side to that? Do you guys sometimes resent the fact that Adam's the focus of an interview, for instance?
No way.
No?
No, anonymity is one of the most valuable things in the world to me. And I think most of the other guys too.
I've heard more and more people say that you don't really want to be rich and famous. You actually just want to be rich and successful, or rich and anonymous, or rich in anything other than famous.
Well, I think people want to be famous, but I know I did kind of, but I don't think you realize what you're talking about when I know I didn't realize what it was. You think that like Ben said, you just don't understand what a shield your anonymity is until it's completely gone. It's a very much a protective shield, and I just find that there's no way that you could be in our band after all the whining I've done about my life and like be envious of that part of it. But just because I am joking about it being whining, but like it just parts of it haven't been great for me, and they've all they're all my friends, so they've had a firsthand like view of me not being able to go do things. Me getting like mobbed in Target in Nebraska.
Right. I know that I saw Springsteen on the Ghost of Tom Joad tour at the Wiltern, and you were there, and there's a buzz almost everywhere you go. Look, there he is. There's all that's pointing and all this, talking about it and stuff, and that must make it hard to enjoy an evening, I would think.
And let me tell you, it's nothing in LA compared to anywhere else. Like I'm perfectly comfortable walking around at the Wiltern. I was standing outside. We were trying to scalp an extra ticket for my friend because we had one extra person with us. I was out there for hours, and I didn't get bothered at all. It's great. I love it.
This is one that has just come in, by the way. First, they wanted to ask when the VH1 Storytellers will air, which I think is October 19th. Does that sound right?
I don't know. I thought it was the 14th for some reason, but I'm not sure.
Somewhere that week, and they'll be certain to promote it on VH1. And they also want to know, because of course we're simulcasting your concert tonight on the internet around the world, if you're going to be, if there any, do you have anything special planned? Are there any new songs that you're doing, or anything, a tip-off that you can tell us that we might look forward to?
Be honest with you, I don't even know what we're playing. Dave makes it. We don't make the set list. Dave does. I look at him when he's done. He just went running, so I'll look at him a half an hour before the show, and we'll change what we change, but it keeps it fresh that way. Dave has always written our set lists from the very beginning.
How about that? You sing what he tells you to sing.
Well, I change them if I want to, but it's just I'm too anal. I agonize over it. I can't make a set list to save my life. I sit there and I can't figure out what to play.
Have you done other cover songs besides? I know the Ghost in You, the Psych Furs song you did on what, Clueless soundtrack?
We did it a long time before that. It was actually done live in a radio station in Boulder on our very first trip away from home. We did it on a whim, we were like, what else should we play? Okay, let's play The Ghost in You. Kind of screwed it up too. And then we just kept that recording, and then we just gave that to Clueless. But basically, we didn't really go in to record it.
It seems like almost every 2 weeks there's another tribute album or charity album or compilation album with somebody doing somebody else's song. Do you ever have any interest in making a contribution to something like that? Or?
Yeah, we always think about doing them. We always talk about doing them. The Vic Chestnut one would be great. We wanted to do that one for the Big Sweet Relief, but like, just not a lot of time. Sometimes it's just like, wow, when the hell are we gonna get in the studio and do that? So we haven't done it. We really want the Vic one. We really wanted to do. I wanted to do. There was going to be a Big Star one that I really wanted to do a lot. We thought about doing this John Lennon one. It's really hard to find extra time to do it. You know.
Right. When we're talking about playing other people's songs, I remember. I think I might have seen a clip of the video. I guess a bootleg video of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when you guys appeared. Now, what a charge that must be! If I remember, you were on stage with Eddie Vedder, members of the Doors.
Oh no, not together. Eddie played with the Doors that night.
Right. I guess it was just that same year though, right?
Yeah,
you came
the
out
Doors
and
were there.
And you sat in for Van Morrison, who was not there, right? And played one of his songs.
Me and Dave and our friend Dave Immergluck did, and then Ben Montench played a little bit with us.
That's right.
Just the four of us.
Was that a last minute thing? I mean, how did you get picked for that?
We got a call.
Obviously the similarity in the vocal, but I mean.
Well, it was on a Tuesday, and I actually don't hear the similarity, to be honest with you, but I'm a big Van Morrison fan, and Robbie called me. Robbie Robertson just called my friend Gary, and Gary called us and said, you know, Van's not going to come. Robbie wants you to do it. Because I just known him. We hadn't even finished our first record yet. It wasn't like anyone had heard of us that way. Robbie they'd never had an unknown band play on it, and he liked our band, so.
Yeah, we don't hear much about the similarity anymore, because now when they hear that sound, radio listeners think it sounds like Adam Duritz from Counting Crows. I mean, your records are so much more widely played now than Van Morrison.
Well, I mean,
I think you've kind of gotten out of that comparison, because we don't have to come up with a way to describe your sound anymore, because people know.
I think people are just looking to do that, because I think the reason was that we did play that thing, and then there was that Sha-La-La on Mr. Jones, which was kind of a joke, where my friend said, "You shouldn't do those. Van Morrison's the only one who can do those," and I said, "Oh, you know what, I can do it. I'll do it better." And I just did it as a joke, you know. And then of course it gets left on, and we play the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so everyone gloms onto that.
Right.
You know, but
well, they need a hook to write an article, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, the concert is here tonight at the Blockbuster Pavilion in Devore. We're going to be hearing it live at liveconcerts.com. Any thoughts to one day perhaps releasing a live album? The live show seems to be important to you, and your fans certainly enjoy your live versions. Is that something you do down the road?
Tons of bootlegs out there. I mean, I got a lot of them myself. I think they're great. You know what I mean?
Do you have to buy them?
Sometimes they give them to me free. Give them a little, hey, you know. But I don't care. You know, those guys, you know, they're sounds.
Would you ever do an official one?
I don't know. We've thought about that. We have everything we've ever done on tape. We record every show, so we have it all available. I don't know. We've talked about it a lot. We have all kinds of
after two
plans.
records, it's also early to think about a live album, I guess, too.
Well, there's the Storytellers thing, which is a live performance, and we're gonna play this Friday night live thing on MTV in November.
This is going to be one of your last dates of the tour, right? And they're going to.
It's the last American date. It's the last American date of the album, and then we're going to Europe for a month. But it'll be the very last American date in like November 4th or 6th. November 6th.
November
Yeah.
6th, right? It's funny to see you laugh about the bootlegs. I mean, for the true fan, they have already bought everything that's available by you. So it's not like they're taking money out of your pocket if they shell out for a live version.
Yeah.
I can understand why the people that complain about it because it's their business. But like, you're not going to spend $30 on a bootleg of Counting Crows unless you have both records. There's just no way. You know, and I don't care. And I bought them when I was a kid growing up, so I'd be a hypocrite to bitch about it now.
They're fun to have if you're a fan, especially if a group like yours that has songs you can't get elsewhere.
Yeah, I got great bootlegs. When we were in Minneapolis, they're having a bootleg sale at First Avenue. I got great stuff. It's cool Velvet Underground record.
Who are you listening to today among your contemporaries? Who do you like? Obviously, some of your favorites you bring out on the road with you, so we know you're a Wallflowers fan.
Whiskey Town. We're annoying everyone. We haven't had Whiskey Town out of the CD player in about a month. You listened to Vic today, weren't you?
Yeah.
Vic Chestnut's, you know.
Folks, get the Whiskey Town album. It is terrific.
Yeah, it's a great record. I did an interview the other day, and I had to call the woman at her office, and her answering machine was the Whiskey Town. I'm like,
you were in love.
I know that.
Betty Severe too.
Oh yeah, Betty Severe. The bands that came out this earlier on the tour, Betty and Nielsen Hubbard, and
That Dog, by the way, looks like broke up.
Yeah.
Really?
I heard they canceled their Hollywood show because they've broken up. At least that's the word in the LA Times this morning. So that's sad.
That's too bad, because they are really, really great.
You mentioned MTV. We haven't talked about. By the way, we're in our last 3 minutes of this interview, just so you know. We haven't talked about MTV. videos a necessary evil or something you enjoy, a different art form? What's your feeling on?
We got to spend a couple days in the desert last time. It was really fun. Spent the night out there.
I mean, is it something you do because you enjoy it, or something you do because you kind of have to because it's part of the marketing plan to sell a record?
Well, it's like an art form. I just don't know that we're any good at it yet. You know, I mean, I don't think most people are.
You watch much MTV?
Well, there's not much videos on MTV anymore. You know, it's hard to find music on MTV. M2 is pretty cool. You got a lot of stuff. You know, you can't get it anywhere.
Oh, do you have the satellite? Can you get M2?
We can get it on the bus. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's very
that's
cool.
better.
That's a big late night thing. Just because they have the, I kind of like, I used to watch 120 minutes every Sunday and religiously tape it, edit out what I wanted, you know.
All right, let me ask you, I guess, you know, basically as we wrap up, just the game plan for Counting Crows for the next, you know, for the next foreseeable future. What do you see? The tour will end around Christmas, and you say you're going to take a little time off and then go out again. If you had to guess when you might sit down and start writing songs or think about a new record or whatever you're going to do next, what would it be?
As soon as we have some time off, you know, maybe the next few weeks when we're home. I mean, I just need some time to relax and to write, because I can't write in a bus, you know, so.
And I know you've said before your label is gracious enough to understand that there's no rush to get you out in time for, you know, President's Day or anything like that, so it'll come when it comes.
Well, what are they going to do, make us make a record? I mean, gracious, look, we make a lot of money for our label. I mean, I don't know, I mean, they're great, but what are they going to say? You can't be pushing bands to make records, you know.
Right,
What good is that going to do you? I think the labels make a big mistake browbeating people into things. I'm glad ours doesn't browbeat us. But, like, it wouldn't do them any good anyways.
Well, you're a terrific band, and you're terrific to do this for your internet fans around the world, too. It has really been a treat to have you on the show, the 250th broadcast of liveconcerts.com. I hope you'll stick around for the show tonight, which I think is going to be at 9 o'clock West Coast time, I think is what time. But just check this website. They'll give you a countdown. They'll let you know when it's going to be on. Any final words for the fans around the world, guys, before we let you go?
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
Thank you very much.